So welcome back, guys. Today's video was originally supposed to be of cutting out those rafters, the roofing rafters for the sawmill expansion project. But it turns out I've got somebody who wants to buy about 40 2x6s. So that's what we're cutting out now. Let's see what we can get out of this log. So this is a pretty big log. This is a southern yellow pine, of course, loblolly, and we're looking at 17 inches on this end and 19 inches on this end. I was thinking originally that I could get probably 2 cants out of this, but it's pretty bowed. I'm not sure if y'all can see that bow in this log from here, but I really do think I can still get 2 cants. I'm guessing I'm going to be able to get 8 2x6s, 8 true 2x6s out of this log. I'm not sure. We'll just see. The blade on the saw is actually pretty dull right now, but what I'm going to try to do is see if I can go ahead and get the slabs off of the side of this log and then change the blade, so I can just let the old dull blade deal with the dirt that's on these logs. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started and see what we can get. So I took that off because I've found that I can get at more accurate cuts just by doing these 1 can at a time, and it's also a lot easier to handle, especially for something this large. But what I'm going to do now is, you can see a lot of times when this blade hits knots like this, it tends to deflect the blade real bad. So what I'm going to do here, let me see if y'all can see it actually. So you can see there's kind of a wave in this cant. So what I'm going to do is just go across the top of it and see if I can get it leveled out before we make our boards out of this. So I'm not sure what happened on that try. It didn't actually cut off what it needed to cut off. Maybe I was going too fast, but I did it a second time and it did cut off those mounds or whatever you want to call them here. So it's a whole lot flatter now. It's not really perfect. There's a little bit of wave to it, unfortunately, but it's a whole lot better. Let's get the blade changed out and we'll see if we can get some boards out of this. So guys, I don't know how well y'all can see this, but I am really struggling with this log. First of all, I've got some really bad waves on this log. Right here, the width right here is about 6 inches, which is just exactly what I need, but it flares out to probably 6.5 right in here, maybe even more. And of course it's bad along in here as well. But anyway, I don't know if it's the blade or if it's the log. Once those blades hit knots, they just kind of go crazy because there's no grain to follow in these knots right here. So I suspect that's part of the problem. The set could also be off on the blade, but the last blade was kind of doing it too. So I don't know. This next cut, I'm gonna slow down and see if that fixes the problem. So I slowed down there and I got some really nice straight cuts. But what I need to do next, since these boards are so wonky, I guess you could say, I'm going to turn it onto the side and see if I can flatten out the sides as well. So this is what we're left with. Lots of gaps. That's pretty frustrating. I'm not going to sell these boards to this gentleman that is wanting these boards. Let's get these off of here and see if we can get some better boards out of that other camp. So I got pretty frustrated after that last cut. That last cut was, I was just trying to flatten it out because of the bad wave that was in it, but I think I've got a solution for this log here. I didn't film this, unfortunately, but there was a really awful wave in this, a really, really bad dip on this surface right here. So what I did was I just cut it on down to 4 inches, and I'm gonna get 2x4s out of it instead. I was about to throw it in the burn pile, but there's no point in doing that because there's a lot of good lumber in this, and I'm gonna get some 2x4s out of it instead. All right, so still getting some waves in this log. I'm gonna swap blades and see if that solves things. This is really not the best log in the first place. It is barely, it's almost rotten in some spots. But anyway, I'm sure these 2x4s can be used for something. Yeah, we're gonna move on. So that did not turn out as expected in the least. I think I just wasted a whole bunch of time, quite honestly. But anyway, we're gonna get those 2x4s stacked up. I'll do something with those 2x6s. I won't sell those to this guy because they're really wavy, and I'm still getting wavy cuts out of that. I'm gonna swap blades and see if that solves the problem. Sometimes if the set is off on those teeth, it'll make wavy cuts like that, so that could be the problem. But anyway, it wasn't quite the video that I was expecting, but I hope y'all enjoyed anyway, and I really appreciate y'all watching, and I will see y'all on the next one. Before I go, I wanted to show y'all, this is the next log that I had on the mill, and what a difference a blade with a good properly set of teeth makes. These boards are just razor straight, and it was easy sawing, and everything just came together just right. So what a difference a good set blade makes. I mean, even right through the knots. This tree, or this log rather, was a little bit drier than the others, but still it went right through that knot as well. It didn't deviate hardly any. And yeah, good lesson. A properly set blade will make your life a whole lot easier.